Hi there. My name is Megan Reed with Colony Home Solutions. Thank you for checking out this video on how our rent-to-own program works. Step 1 is you want to make sure that you're registered to receive our property updates. There's quite a few reasons for this because whenever we get a new property, we're sending a property blast out to the buyers on the registered list first, before we even advertise to the public. So very often our homes are sold to the buyers on our list before the public even knows about them. Step 2 is once you start receiving the property blasts, you want to make sure that you're inquiring right away because the properties don't last very long and they do go very quickly. So make sure you're inquiring right away. Secondly, once you inquire, I'm going to reach out to you and arrange a property viewing. I'm also going to take down the best email for you. That way I can send you a couple of forms once you view the property and you can then decide if you're interested in taking the next step. That's why we like to call them our next step forms. You're going to want to fill those forms out and get those back to me. If the property is currently occupied, either with our partner on the deal, depending on what type of deal it is, or the former seller, I'm going to arrange a walkthrough of the property for you to go there with them. They'll walk you through the property and go over any property specifics. And then if you have any questions on the numbers or rent-to-own specifics, you can circle back to me at that time. Once I get the next step form, I'm going to give you a call. We're going to review them together and get a comfort level. The first thing that we're going to do is go over your income because we want to make sure that we have the end in mind right from the beginning. The end in mind being we want to make sure that we're setting you up for success, meaning that if you do go to the end or come to the end of your lease, we're going to be able to qualify you for your own loan. For that, we're typically looking to make sure that your income monthly exceeds 3 times the monthly cost of the property. Next, once you get a comfort level of your income, we'll go over that and how you're earning your money and how that works. I'll ask you several questions to go over that. We're also going to go over down payment. Now, how down payment works is usually anywhere from 3 to 10%. Now, I know you're thinking, geez, that's quite a range, 3 to 10%. How do I know for a particular property what you're going to charge? It's not necessarily that we're going to charge, but it's that you're competing with other buyers. So you have to put your best foot forward and do the best you can with regards to your down payment. Very often when selecting buyers, it's weighed heavily on your down payment. So the higher you get your down payment, the better your chances are of being approved. If you're coming in on a particular property closer to 3%, we'd like to work on this, and that is something we'll do together on the phone. Together, we'll come up with a plan based totally on your income and your payment schedule. We'll plan for an additional down payment over the course of lease so that by the time you come to the end of your rent-to-own agreement with us, you're going to be able to make your own loan. We want to make sure that you're going to be a slam dunk for the lender when it gets to that point. What I mean by this is that you're going to not only have to access to the best rates that are available at the time, because those change constantly, but also the best programs. We're focused on ensuring you are set up for success and not stuck with a high interest rate because of having a super low down payment. We want to make sure you have access to the best programs at that time. Once both of us get a comfort level with your income, how you're making your money, and your down payment, then we're going to set up what's called a buyer's meeting. Now, a buyer's meeting doesn't necessarily mean you're accepted. However, it's the next step in our process. For a given property, we can have multiple buyer meetings with buyers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we've accepted a buyer. It just means we're considering you further in the process. At the buyer's meeting, we're going to sit down together and go over things in more detail. We're going to be working together over the next 18 to 24 months or 30 to 36 months. We want to make sure that we have a comfort level and a common understanding of everything, and that we're going to be able to work together because this is a pretty serious purchase. Buying a house isn't something that we can do over email or text without talking to someone. Once we do that and you say get selected, you're chosen and you're accepted for the particular property, someone from our team will be reaching out to you and coordinating your attorney signing. We like to call it a closing with the attorney, and that's where You're coming up with the rest of your down payment and signing final agreements just to make sure everyone's protected and everyone's on the same page, both you as a buyer and us as a seller. So that's an overview of how our rental program works. I hope that helps. If this is something that you're looking for, make sure that you're inquiring back so we can set up a property viewing and move you along in the process.